Hello again, and welcome to another tutorial on editing photographs in Photoshop CS5. Today we're going to look at a horrible picture. Not a horrible picture, but a bunch of amateur mistakes I made at a shoot and came out with something decent, workable, but needs to be corrected, and I'm going to show you how to correct it. So I'm going to zoom in here and show you what's wrong. Obviously, the first obvious thing is a shoe. All right, then we've got this gutter, and up here we'll notice the door isn't quite centered above them, and because the door isn't centered, the balcony isn't centered, and because the balcony's not centered, the lights aren't centered. So we're going to correct all that. There was an electrical conduit going right here, but I went ahead and corrected that using the patch tool. So we won't have to work with that. That's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and start to work on the door. Okay, because the door is where it is, and we have to move it to the left, we're going to need more room on the right to cover up what would be the old door. So we're going to take the normal rectangular selection tool, and I'm going to try to do this with taking the balcony as well. Okay, and notice I have a feather of, we're going to say 5 pixels on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to grab right on these grout lines of the bricks, and I'm going to need more on the left. So I'm going to go as far to the, on the right. So go far to the right as I can, and I'm going to clip the grass because I want that grass to kind of stay in there, but I'm going to miss their heads. So I didn't leave myself a lot of room for this, but I needed more room on the right so that when I slide it over, it will cover things up. That looks pretty good, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it. Doesn't look much different, does it? Okay. Now we're going to move it so that door is right between them. Okay, because I move the door, now the light that's on the right, this light right here, is not quite centered. Okay, so, but I don't have enough extra space here on the right to move it over. So this is a two-move type of a thing. I'm going to move the light, then I'm going to cover the light with some bricks. So again, just going to take the brick. I'm using the lines of the brick so that when I paste it in, I'll have some reference points and it looks fairly natural. Now I'm just going to use my arrow key to move it over. It looks like it's about 1.5 bricks from the door. I'm going to say let's see, I got to get those grout lines to move in and be about right, and that looks about right. Okay, so what do I do now with this light? Well, I can't really keep it there, can I? So, well, on this light on the right side, let's see how that looks. It looks a little bit more natural. It's tough. You're just going to have to eyeball some of it and go, I don't know. The other thing we can do is we can mask it, and I'll show you some of that in just a minute. Okay, we want to get rid of this, so we're going to just turn off some of those layers. We're going to go back to our original layer. We're going to select, again, we're going to select using those grout lines of the bricks. We don't really need that much, just enough to cover the bricks. And we'll copy that. New layer. Paste it in. And just move it right over to the right. Now, if we go back and look at our crops and everything, looks pretty natural. Fairly natural. One thing I don't like on this brick is we've got this kind of a line going here. So what I'm going to do is mask that off, and I'm going to just get rid of this edge so that it looks a little more natural. Easy correction. Easy correction. Goes down in there. Okay, same thing on the light. Gonna mask that off. Cut in just a little bit on the edge so that we don't see irregular bricks. And we're gonna do the same thing with the normal brick layer. We're going to just take off a little bit so the bricks are a little more uniform. Okay, so now we've got our background lined up with our subject. We need to take care of the shoe and the gutter. So let's take care of the shoe first. We'll zoom in here. This is pretty easy. This time we're going to use the lasso tool. We'll go ahead and select our layer with the shoe, and we're going to draw around that shoe. And again, we've got 5 pixels. We're going to move over to the right, and we're going to find a fairly uniform area. We'll copy that, and I'll add a layer up here and paste it. And I'll go right back over to the left using my arrow keys so that I don't get a lot of distortion, up and down distortion, because that line where the concrete wall meets the bricks, we don't want that to show up. Okay, so that actually looks pretty good, pretty smooth. So we'll move on to the gutter. So how are we going to do the gutter? We're going to take an area somewhere around here, because you notice the water goes up and down and up and down. There's a pretty big dip here that matches the dip here. So again, we're going to take our lasso tool, and I'm going to go around and miss that light spot. And there's the upswing. Alright, and move over to that dip. Try to miss the toes. Faster, 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 faster. Okay, here we go, almost there. And there it pretty much matches the contour, so I'm going to copy that and paste that in, and then go right back to the left. Now we're going to have a little bit more of a difference between the light and the dark because of the water being a different color, but not too much. We also are repeating that little bump right here, so let's see if we turn that off. We have to leave that, but we look pretty good. Look pretty good as far as waves and everything go. We can go ahead and mask that off, and we'll take a little bit of that line out so it looks a little more natural. And we might even take, there we go, and voila, we've got it. So let's group our changes so that we could see. So here is the original, and here is the change. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all. Thanks a lot.